By now, I think a majority of you have heard about the ongoing criticism that's been going on with the Doctor Who 60th anniversary that's divided up into 3 parts, streaming on Disney+, and the fact of what they did to David Tennant's Doctor in Doctor Who the 60th anniversary is something that a lot of Doctor Who fans are very much angered about when it comes to Disney's usage of this and BBC's as well. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, just to be very clear, Disney does not own Doctor Who. They are not developing Doctor Who per se. They only had a deal with BBC to broadcast, or to stream it, I should say, to air it on Disney Plus to kind of reach it toward a global, platform to really kind of get the exposure that BBC wanted to. And what's interesting about all of this has a lot to do with the fact of what Bob Iger has actually been pushing or requesting the BBC to do, and already has done so. And in addition to the ongoing criticism, what Disney is actively doing right now to strike back at fans, and to go against the fans further, and it really just goes to show you Disney's true nature of things. Let's get into all of this. Now, David Tennant's Doctor, we have not seen him since the 10th series, and when you look at that version of the Doctor, we know that a lot of fans going in, when they first saw his face, they expected something to be valued until what was represented in the 60th anniversary, where all of the woke agendas spilled into this anniversary because of Disney influencing BBC on what to do and what they are planning to do in the future. Now, on top of all of that, where, of course, both BBC and Disney lie right now is actually going to be quite disastrous, both for 2024 and 2025, where BBC and Disney allowing all future Doctors who, of course, to actually be streamed on Disney Plus, on the Disney Plus platform to reach a global audience. One major development, though, has to do with Disney striking back at fans after the Doctor Who 60th anniversary special hit rock bottom by throwing in woke agendas that was influenced by Bob Iger and the heads over at Disney, the board of directors, etc. As it turns out, the 60th anniversary, which was a 3-parter that introduced David Tennant's return as the Doctor, gained much criticism after Disney pushed BBC during minor reshoots back in 2022 after the Disney Plus deal to double down on DEI. One significant update, however, to this ongoing drama is for Series 14 of Doctor Who, and all future Doctor Who content beyond Series 14 is going to up the usage of DEI and woke agendas in response to the ongoing criticism of the 60th anniversary. Now, Disney CEO Bob Iger talked this over with the heads of BBC, including CEO Tim Davie, that everything past Series 14, and specific changes for that series in particular, is also planned to do more minor reshoots, by the way, is to up Disney's woke agendas into the show as part of the Disney Plus deal. Now, though Disney does not own Doctor Who, like I said before, like they do with The Simpsons or other shows, for example, like Alien or other movies out there, part of the deal was that BBC had to agree with Disney's direction of DEI usage into Series 14 and beyond, including the 60th anniversary. And this all goes for how David Tennant will be presented as the Doctor, once again in a very minor way, for 2024. In response to the ongoing backlash behind the scenes, both the heads of BBC are actively listening to Disney's request to ignore any level of fan criticism moving onwards, and to stand their ground with their agreement that was made in the Disney Plus deal. This is all Bob Iger's doing, and was something that was agreed upon in a recent remote meeting that took place last week just before the 60th anniversary dropped. Now guys, let me just stop here quick for a moment. Now, the 60th anniversary, like I mentioned before, it is divided up into 3 pieces, and David Tennant was the highlight of this thing. I mean, he was the highlight, and this is something that where a lot of Doctor Who fans were losing their minds when they first saw his face, until, well, let's just say, the dialogue exchange began to happen, alright? We know that a lot of it has to do with the promotion of pronouns and stuff around those lines, and how the women talk down the Doctor Who by David Tennant in other parts of this actual 60th anniversary. It's a mess, and it is something that was indeed pushed by Iger and the heads over at Disney, and it's going to get worse for Series 14 and beyond. Now, the 15th Doctor is not going to be David Tennant, just to be very clear about this. He will only be appearing as the 14th in the 60th anniversary. But we know one thing about all of this, is that there's a lot of things that Disney is seeking to destroy. You know, we know that there's a lot of things that they have done with The Simpsons, what they're currently doing with Alien, and other franchises out there that so many love and enjoy. And this is a prime example that Disney, whatever they touch their hands on, just actually gets diminished, and it gets devalued practically overnight. Now, moving onwards. Now, David Tennant is reportedly only going to have a small role in Series 14, which is likely to drop by 2024, before the 15th Doctor is the major focus by Disney and BBC for the Disney Plus platform. Now, get this. The 15th Doctor is set to be portrayed by Ncuti Gatwa. Part of the Disney Plus deal that BBC agreed to also is to double down on all future Doctor iterations to be those of different races and or genders in the series, a massive shift from what the BBC has been doing for years. Now, this comes as a recent response that was made by Disney that no matter if it's the 16th, 17th, or 18th Doctor, whatever iteration it may be, and beyond, the characters must embrace their usage of DEI to be used for the writing and creation of these characters moving onwards. This was the one condition that Disney presented to them before they actually made that deal back in 2022. Now, BBC is reportedly all for Disney's requests and is not opposed to what Disney has been pushing BBC to do with future series moving onwards. Now, again, I don't know if you guys are Doctor Who fans or not, or if you're just caught up on what's been going on right now with the whole 60th anniversary. Some people like to call it the David Tennant special, stuff like that. We know that there's a lot of problems to begin with when it comes to Disney, when it comes to Star Wars, Marvel, Simpsons, Alien already. It just keeps on piling up the amount of failures that Disney is completing here, and Doctor Who is among others. Now, again, I gotta make this very clear. They do not own Doctor Who, like how they own Star Wars or Marvel now or The Simpsons. This is basically just a Disney Plus deal, but there was that one condition that was placed by Iger, is to ramp up their usage of DEI. Now look, I'm all for equality and diversity if it comes naturally, and if it comes naturally when writing the script of these episodes and these stories. To have all future Doctors cemented in to be of different races or different ethnicities or different genders just because, it goes to show you Disney's lack of, vision when it comes to their viewpoints of these shows, and how BBC is just saying, all right, I'm all for it. You gave us that great deal. Let's do that, even though Disney's not in full control. Now, if BBC wanted to, they could shoot this down right now, immediately. But they're not going to, because they actually support what Iger and the heads over there are pushing. So again, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.